Hey guys, Alex here. Today I wanted to talk about the newly released added to COD LMG called Bruen Mk9. Or you can also call it an M249 because it's more or less based on that gun. But before we start talking about the gun itself, let's talk about how to unlock it. So, in order to unlock it, you need to kill 3 people in the smoke in 15 matches using an LMG. So, just to reiterate, in every single one of those 15 matches, you need to kill at least 3 people in the smoke. The people getting killed has to be in the smoke, obviously, and you need to wield an LMG. Now, the easiest way to do that would be to put a thermal on an LMG, play some kind of game mode with an objective that people flock towards. You can choose whatever, and get some smokes. You might also want to get a restock perk, which lets you recharge your equipment, and just go for it. I mean, in my case, I just got a Holger 26. I put a thermal on it, got some smokes, get a restock, and I went to 10v10 shipments. Luckily for me, right now, I have this. COD players only want one thing, and it's disgusting. And what that is basically just 10v10 shipment. Right, so I did it pretty fast. And actually, I'll show you some clips later where I'm playing with the Bruen on that game mode already, and you can notice a lot of people are popping smokes, and you might guess why they are doing that. Obviously, they want that gun. So, a lot of people are saying that it's kind of complicated, and I would have to agree. It's not that easy. It took me about 3 hours, and keep in mind, I'm pretty bad at COD, but oh well. And I have to say, it's really not as bad as people are saying it is, but it is definitely one of the trickier achievements to do. But that is basically how you unlock it. And now, without further ado, let's get to the gun itself. Let's look at it and see if it's good or not. Now, the first thing I wanted to do is to compare it to other LMGs. And what you're going to notice here, really quickly, is that Bruen Mk9 is the most accurate LMG right now in the game. You just look at the stat cards. The other LMGs can have more damage, more range, more fire rate, but never more accuracy. Technically, Bruen is the most accurate LMG in the game. What does it give us? Not much. I mean, accuracy doesn't really matter on small to medium maps. It does kind of matter on bigger maps, but then again, most of these LMGs have enough accuracy to hit targets. So this a little bit of extra accuracy doesn't really help us that much. And with that in mind, let's look at the attachments. Now, the attachments for this gun, they're fairly normal. I mean, you've got your usual muzzle devices, the flash guard and breacher device being as useless as ever, muzzle brake, the compensator, and free suppressors. The first one does not decrease ADS, the other two do that, and the monolithic suppressor also increases the range, which is, you know, all of the LMGs more or less have that. You've got your 3 barrels. The first and the second one are fairly similar in a sense that they give you the same amount of range. You know, like technically this one decreases your ADS more than this one, and also, well, I mean, the second one gives you more control and accuracy, which is good, but they're mostly similar. I guess the first one has more Picatinny rail, so it looks more tactical. I don't know. The third one is the one that you want to go for. The short barrel that gives you more ADS and movement speed, but I mean, it is an LMG. You want to get as much ADS as possible because the standard ADS time of Bruen is really bad. Now, the lasers, nothing to talk about really. 3 standard lasers, I mean, really, This isn't the same for like literally all of the guns in the game. The optics also, all of the standard optics, including the sniper scope, all of the other ones. Now, one thing it does not have is some special kind of optic. Like for example, if you look at Holger 26, you'll notice that it does have the integral optics that the other weapons don't have. But then again, it's not really a big downside for Bruen. Like really, this is plentiful, in my opinion. You've got everything you want, and even more, actually. Now with the stocks, now the Bruen has 4 standard stocks and the skeleton stock. These are your basic stocks, the no stock option, which looks kind of hilarious on the LMG. 3 normal ones, like the one that gives you more aiming stability, one that gives you more walking movement speed, and the ADS stock, and the skeleton stock. Now, this is the stock that you want to go for, in my opinion, because it gives you more aiming walking movement speed on top of the ADS time. So it's kind of like this one, but also it's these two combined. Like really, I mean, what do you rather go for? One of these or that one? I mean, come on, let's be real here. The only thing that gives you more ADS is the no stock option, but then again, you lose recoil control. The underbarrel. This is pretty straightforward as well. You got your commando, mercenary, tactical ranger, and operator foregrips. They do exactly the same on like literally all of the guns. Then you also have the bipod. It's not really that useful, but if you're just starting to level this gun up, you might want to play more passively and crouch and try to like kill enemies at longer distances, and this it might only be useful in that scenario. The ammunition, you got your 200 rounder and the 60 rounder. Now the 60 rounder is obviously, again, what you want to go for, not only because the ADS speed, but also because the recoil, the reload animation is way faster. It's really is just way better. I mean, yeah, you sacrifice 40 rounds compared to the normal ammo box of 100. And you can also go for this one, which by the way has the exact same model but a different color that as the normal box. But I mean, whatever. But really, I mean, 60 rounders is usually enough, and unless you're shooting at a horde of enemies that are running towards you mindlessly, you won't be needing more. And the reload animation more than makes it up for the missing 40 rounds. Now the rear grips, nothing to talk about again. 3 standard rear grips. I'm not sure any weapon in the game has anything else than that, although the P90 does, but the P90 kind of has like the forward grip, which is instead of the under barrel slot, so whatever. And then the perks, all of the normal LMG perks, really, again, nothing to talk about. You can pause the video and look at them if you want to, but if you've been playing this game for like more than 5 hours, you already know all of them, so. And if you don't, then why are you watching this video? Come on. While you're watching the gameplay, I'm going to talk about gun's performance, what you should do while leveling it up, and share my thoughts about the gun. So it's probably not going to surprise you, but when you just get it, and it's level 1, it kind of sucks. The ADS time is really long, the reload animation takes ages, and as soon as you get your hands on the sleight of hand perk, I suggest you put it on immediately. It unlocks at gun level 16, and it really helps with the reload speed. When you're just starting to level it up, I'd advise against close quarter gunfights, because slow ADS combined with the fact that the gun shoots with a very slight delay after you press the trigger. It's a mechanic that's in the game for some other guns as well, by the way, like the PKM. So these 2 factors basically will work against you in the close quarter situations. And the best way to level up that gun would probably be ground war, but if you're not into that, just try to avoid close quarter combat as much as possible, and generally try to flank the enemy or either pick him off somehow. Also, the Bruen Mk9 doesn't have that much recoil, so you should definitely try to use that to your advantage. Even if you build it to lower the ADS time as much as possible, the recoil is really not that noticeable. And talking about the ADS, obviously, even with all of the ADS parts, it's not going to be faster than the SMGs or the ARs, but for me, this is where the gun really starts to shine. Faster ADS allows you to feel more confident in close quarters, and combined with the relatively low recoil and a 60-rounder mag with a much faster reload animation, you can adopt more aggressive playstyles. So overall, this gun feels really good in mid to long ranges, and it's a really good choice for either Warzone or the ground. But when built correctly, it can also be pretty good in close range, fast reaction firefights. And that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'd appreciate if you'd like and subscribe, obviously, but ultimately that's your choice. Also, leave a comment if you liked or disliked the video, and definitely let me know what you think about the Bruen Mk9. And I'll see y'all later.